Greetings, you wild and weirdos and weirdads. It's Ron. That is Joe over there fumbling around with something, and that's Doomsday Dave over in the corner.
Definitely setting things on fire.
That's right. Hopefully not. And this is Wild and Weird Radio Live. I think the only podcast show, whatever we do, that lets you guys take control from time to time and steer the show. Like I said, we start out with some basic news and some base direction of where we're going, and then sometimes we get completely derailed, but it's okay. It's always a good time. It's your show, so let's do it. We have quite a few things to go over tonight. We'll be talking about that just you know what, I'll tell you what we're going to be talking about. You know what, let me just show you what we're going to be talking about. Let's show them what we're going to be talking about. Take this presentation really quick.
You just got a
teaser. Give you a teaser. This is what we're going to be talking about tonight, this and a little bit more. So let me find the intro. Here we go. You might have heard about this. I don't know.
You made a statement recently, as of recording this program, where you talked about allegations and rumors of a pretty high-profile person within the UAP topic being appointed at a very high level to kind of spearhead the disclosure initiative or be integral to it out of the White House or executive branch. I'm going to go ahead and take that leap, and I will be very plain here. That individual is Luis Elizondo, and he is currently being tasked, likely has the position for a National Security Council level role, exactly what he had been looking for as the quote-unquote UAP czar. This takes us back to the year of 2017, in which Lou Elizondo and a cadre of other individuals under a program, an informal working group called ATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, had been working from 2009 to roll out a partial disclosure campaign at the behest of Lieutenant General and Director of National Intelligence James Clapper.
Important to say that as you continue to disparage and provide false information, remember there's real consequences.
So we're going to touch on some of that.
Yeah, because it's
heating up, man.
I hate to say this, but the UFO community has always been at odds with itself.
It has.
But the mirror between the UFO community and the Bigfoot community is getting almost the same.
Yeah.
Like, if one of them is looking in the mirror at this point, the nose is touching the glass.
Yeah.
And the other one is on the receiving side. Like it is so reminiscent of what we saw going on in 2017.
Crazy, right? Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it's just bonkers.
And here we are to witness this. Anyway, let's get everybody welcomed in. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about a lot more. Jesse Michels had Brandon Fugal on this week, and boy, what a show. There's actually the links in the description of the show, by the way. It's a 3-hour show. Sit back, chill out, and watch that thing later on because it's really good. We got some key moments and clips for you if you don't want to watch the whole 3 hours, but I suggest you go back and watch it because it's really good.
It's a good, it doesn't feel like 3 hours.
It doesn't. It's just like, wow. And it's just just cool to see the man because he's just a cool guy. Anyway, let's get everybody welcomed in here.
You got it. So go Doc. Good to see you. Feed was suggested by YouTube tonight. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Enzo, the Fugal interview was fantastic. Then who else we got? Rachie, we got Terry Carter. Oz, here in Vermont, we're getting pounded by dry lightning, which doesn't happen here. Oh, that's interesting. That's right. You know, I watched that storm cycle moving earlier today because we were trying to predict some weather for some activities this weekend. And I zoomed out and watched the predictive Doppler, and there is what looks to be almost the beginnings of a tropical storm forming in the northeast, moving out over the ocean. There's a big spiral that's starting to form up there. It's really wild.
Are you a weather scientist now?
I am. It's better than being a UFO scientist. You don't go missing for being a weather scientist.
Weather scientists typically are safe.
Yep. Skinner, what's going on? Jordan Booker's in the house. Sim Salabim is here. What's going on? Kathy Music, good to see you. Chris is here. How's it going? Terry McCullough. We've got Linda Sigmund, Gary Foote, L.R. Miller. Oh, who else?
Greetings from Myrtle.
Carly
LR.
Young. Carly Young.
LR's
Stone
down at the beach. I suggest you look up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Saw some really cool stuff there. So, yeah.
Andrew, what's going on? Oh, there we go. Brenda Ratliff, what's up? Just had pizza from Pizzas and Cream. That's a new pizza joint that's hit the Charleston area, but there's one somewhere else I've heard was really good. It's the same people.
Ooh, key lime.
Sherry Tango, what's going on? That catches us up unless you've commented here in the last few seconds.
Yeah, everybody
what's going on? We got Rob Posey.
Make sure you guys get in there and comment and join the conversation and join it. Just be part of it, man. This is the whole thing. What do we call it? You are disclosure. We're all disclosure.
Yes.
So
we are disclosure.
That takes voices, and we're going to talk to you a bit more about that later. You're going to understand why that's important, why we keep saying that, I think. What about you think? What do you think, Joe?
Oh, 100%, especially, and I go back to what I said when we first really started stepping into the UFO space.
Yeah.
We will do for the UFO community what we did in the Bigfoot community.
Yeah.
And that is set a needle that won't waver and budge and show people that it is possible to do this research and go about this research in an unbiased way, to not be shaped by your own preconceived notions.
And your heroes.
To be able to look away from what your heroes are saying and be able to look away from what the voices are saying and simply put your nose to the ground.
Yeah.
Or in this case, your eyes to the skies.
Yeah. Grab the data, your data that makes sense to you. And, run that by some other peers and kind of come up with your own, idea of what that is. I mean, it's what it means to you, but do the research, do the data analysis, do the whole thing.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself. Don't rely on these other people. You are disclosure. That's what that means.
And today, this episode, we're going to kind of touch on why.
Yeah.
That is so valuable, especially today.
I think this is definitely what we're seeing happening out there right now. We've got the whole community starting to just pile up on each other. And I'm not going to say that that's not what's supposed to happen, because I think that might be part of the design.
I agree with you. I think that infighting is by design. I think that it is part of the control measures.
Yeah, I think so too.
So without being too elusive for anybody who's not in the know, who might be watching us right now, let's kind of give it a little bit of background for these statements we're making right now. So currently, we have in the UFO community what we've considered here in our little corner like a softer, quiet disclosure, right? Yeah. It is a not UFOs on the White House lawn. We're not seeing flying saucers with the, Space Force or U.S. Air Force emblems flying around currently. This is a situation where there is data being released, data being skewed.
Yeah. That last
data
part.
being dropped and literally dumped in ways that are confusing. And then you have talking heads, some of which have actual background and analysis, some of which are just what are considered in the journalism world ambulance chasers. A lot of these ones that are the ambulance chasers in the community, they're the loudest. Think about it. Ambulance chasers are chasing the sirens. In this case, with this information in this community, the ambulance chasers also have a siren on their car. And it's follow me, click this, watch this. Yeah, okay, we do that too, to a degree. But we're not forcing you. We're not saying the only way that you're going to get this information is if you follow us.
No.
We're not saying the only way that you're going to get these deep takes and these hot pieces of data is to come to Wild and Weird Radio. We're not doing that. We do the opposite of that. We point people outward. We point people out and explicitly show them how to conduct the data or conduct the research, gather the data themselves. And right now we are in a climate that is the exact polar opposite of that. We have social media syndrome.
Yeah.
Everything is like on a microwave press button. Okay.
Yeah.
We want it now. And that's what they're doing. They're chasing the now. They're chasing where this is coming from. They're trying to get the information. Everybody's got to get it out the fastest. The problem with getting information out the quickest and the fastest is it's not always the most accurate. And sometimes the hot takes that are picked up off of this brand new, fresh information are not the kind of takes that you really want to chase and really want to follow.
Yeah. Well, the problem with it being is it gets to the point where it's drama, so much drama that your average Joe just says, I'm out.
Yeah.
I got other things to do. There's some more things I got to do. I'm going to go play Fortnite and chase these sprites around.
Case in point, the 2021 Bigfoot Researchers of the Year really not doing much Bigfoot research anymore. We have our own specific sites that we check up on.
Yeah.
We're not really chasing reports anymore. We left that community to its own devices.
We're kind of doing our own thing, and it's kind of working.
We're doing our own thing. We're going our own direction. And we got away from a lot of the ridiculous drama.
We got a lot away from it before it really snowballed.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw some of our friends get caught up in the snowball.
Well,
roll downhill.
It the pattern recognition abilities.
Yeah. Well, we saw this before. Well, we've seen it before. This is the same thing happening in the reptile world. Believe it or not, this is the exact same thing. All of this has really happened over and over in these communities. Happens all the time.
They become cannibalistic at a certain point. That you reach this climax of people, and then it becomes cannibalistic. And Dave, I'm sure you could probably speak to some of that within the music world. And I mean, because you've been internationally releasing music, and you've seen what it's like in some of these digital spaces, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Your volume.
Yeah, we're having audio problems with myself tonight, everyone. So we're trying to.
Oh, there we go. We got you.
Almost. Let's take it up a little more.
Try not to blast everybody out of the room. So hopefully that'll help a little bit.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Now,
I'm not gonna touch it for next week.
All right. As long as we don't hear the echo, we're good. But I can still hear a little bit.
Echo. What? Ron.
Yeah. We see this in every community. Ron mentioned the reptile community, which is where we got our start back in the early, before the 20-teens. And we watched it happen there. Prior to that, we watched it happen in the pet shop world, with specifically in the reef communities. We've watched it happen now in the Bigfoot community and the cryptozoology circles. And then it's just a virus and it's spread. Yeah. And this isn't the first time it's happened in the UFO community either.
No. I mean, this is pretty common, quite honestly. We saw it in the past. The community likes to rip itself apart at times, unfortunately. I don't know where this is going to go per se, but I can see, like I said, a few people just getting completely turned off by this and walking away. And that might be the purpose, like I said. Go ahead with Enzo's comment there.
Enzo says, personally, I feel the Lou and Gerb fracas is long overdue. In the past, all the Lou crew and gang would shout down any mudslinging. Gerb has a big following, and this could get really ugly. Gerb has been a name in the UFO community since around 2008, 2009, I think. And Lou has only been in our zeitgeist since 2017. So he has a few years on him in the community as far as the UFO circles go. Lou, however, does have the insider knowledge. He is the guy who is he's the guy from the inside. You know, he's the inside man, the smoking man, so to speak.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, that's the whole thing, you know. What are you thinking, David? What are you feeling about this whole thing?
All right, I'm trying to get my brain back from having all these audio problems, so I can actually respond intelligently.
Now. You're perfect now.
Okay. So yeah,
we've got you loud and clear. No echo. Sounds great. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, so no. Please repeat the question there again. Sorry.
How do you feel about the current squabble that's taking place in a very public fashion between Lou and UFO Gerb?
I think it's frustrating.
Data and everything.
I've still, I don't know, I might be on the fringe on this one. I still, I know Lou's trying to be, watch national security. He's trying to be patriotic in his own words and all that. But there's a part of me too that doesn't wonder if he's not part of the deep state as far as this is all going.
Okay. Now, what you just said, up until this past week, there were people who would fight you tooth and nail over what you just said. But now you've got this little injection of what if, right? So let's play some of those clips for those folks who don't know what's going on, and we'll get to it. We'll try to figure this out, sort it out all together, like we always do, and see what what we can find. So here's the first clip, and here you go.
If I was to describe the current situation with the whole UAP mystery, there's a dilemma. At the moment, we have a government that's promising transparency. It's telling us, it's disclosing. We should be happy. But both of us know there's a bear in the room that's being ignored. And that's the allegation, the central allegation, that there is a reverse engineering program, a recovery of non-human vehicles. That's not being addressed at the moment, is it?
No, it's not. Of course, in the White House tranches of files, I think we're about to get our fourth. These files and videos just show anomalous signatures in our skies or are documents that we have seen before, such as documents of green fireballs, an interesting phenomena over Albuquerque, New Mexico back in the late 40s. So there's really been nothing new or nothing extraordinary within these drops.
This is the same thing that we have been saying. If you recall, that's why everybody's like, well, why are you guys so down? Well, because literally this has happened before, for those who know. Beth over there keeping it free for everybody. I don't know if you saw that or not. Big thank yous go out. Multiple blessings. I do have the goals set, by the way, for the end of the show. We'll do another flute thing. Nice big flute blessing. And also, we're working on trying to figure out exactly when the next meeting is going to be. So we'll have some really cool little gifts for you at that thing. We're definitely going to have to get a new Geiger counter for them. That's one of the more popular things is for the giveaway.
Yep.
So everything that you give, obviously, for those who do not know, it goes right in to you. It either goes into the meetings or it goes into creating content for this show. And again, it's your show. So there you go. Back to this. So here's the thing. He goes on to just kind of lay out this problem. And the problem is everybody's not talking about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Which is, for the longest time, they weren't. They were, you had a couple of people, look at, who do we have? Let's see. We had George Knapp. Mm-hmm. That's about it. That was really the only one who ever mentioned, anything to do with crash retrieval to that degree before some of what happens. So he's painting a picture here, just to let you know. And he goes right into the next phase of this. And this is where it starts to get interesting. And then there's a call out.
What I want to take you to today, I have a hunch that where we're being led is to the idea that eventually we're going to be told, my goodness me, there is a non-human intelligence. It's clear, it's intelligent, it's operating craft of some kind. I do think at some stage there's going to be an admission by the government. But that, in and of itself, is a controlled narrative, don't you think?
Yes, on one hand, currently we have the efforts of Representative Eric Burleson and David Grush, who are currently sending legal interrogatives to various cabinet-level agencies, services, private corporations, federally funded research and development centers. And these are sets of legally compelling letters for these institutions, agencies, services to kind of hand over their knowledge on the UAP subject, including the reverse engineering crash retrieval program, or the legacy program, as we like to call it.
Which means that there is one. Right?
It alleges that. I mean, but again, it's we've heard rumor of all this program. We've seen what would literally make up a legal silhouette.
Yeah.
That it exists.
Right. So he doesn't stop there.
Skinner, thanks, brother.
Multiple blessings, Skinner.
Key lime pie, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
It strikes me what we're starting to see now is the beginning of something you and I have known about for some time, which is a schism in ufology.
No, really?
Schism in the UAP community. There are those who are digging for that reverse engineering recovery program of non-human technology, and there are those who are saying, just be happy with what you've got. Be happy with the small d disclosure.
No, I do think that that is exactly where we are, by the way.
Yeah.
And I do think that that's why you're getting some of these injections of common, aircraft, of drones, of all this in the middle of all these documents that are getting released, right? The lie sandwich. That's what's making it up. That's the ingredients. So that is happening. That's not speculation. That is absolutely happening. Now, why is it happening? Here you go. Here's what he says.
Is someone trying to control the narrative?
Yes. You made a statement recently as of recording this program where you talked about allegations and rumors of a pretty high-profile person within the UAP topic being appointed at a very high level to kind of spearhead the disclosure initiative or be integral to it out of the White House or executive branch. I'm going to go ahead and take that leap, and I will be very plain here. That individual is Luis Elizondo, and he is currently being tasked, likely has the position for a National Security Council level role, exactly what he had been looking for as the quote-unquote UAP czar. This is detrimental to the disclosure process. This is extremely concerning. Like you said, of partial disclosure, limited disclosure, we have seen this before. This takes us back to the year of 2017, in which Lou Elizondo and a cadre of other individuals under a program, an informal working group called ATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, had been working from 2009 to roll out a partial disclosure campaign at the behest of Lieutenant General and Director of National Intelligence James Clapper. Once again, we are in this situation, and it is perilous for the disclosure effort.
Let's get some comments. I want to hear some stuff on the floor right now. Every single person out there, I want to know what your thoughts. I want to know your opinions on this. This is a pretty big issue, and it does affect the course of ufology from this point on, as far as I'm concerned. Joe, what do you think?
Oh, 100%, especially in the public eye.
Yeah.
So Enzo says Lou took a lot of time out of the limelight after the irrigation circle photo. That he did.
Yeah.
And then Oz says, how did intelligence got fall for that? Honestly, I think that was just handed to him, and he was like, oh, yeah, and then ran with it. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense If it wasn't, then it was on purpose.
It was a huge screw up in that case, really.
Yeah, like if it was a mistake, it was a huge mistake in that way.
I just can't see someone.
This is why we are disclosure. It doesn't matter what they say; they lie. I believe in our experiences.
Nope,
I can't see Lou being in that have a position like that and not checking his facts and information before he public releases it. That's just too fishy for me.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Exactly. All right,
LW brother, good to see you back out there tonight. Congratulations on your 100th episode, by the way, of Paranormal Paveler.
That's pretty awesome.
If you guys haven't gone over on your mobile devices and jumped on to his podcast to check it out, you've got 100 episodes. You can go now and listen to the entire backlog.
Yep, that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to pop a poll up, and let's just kind of get it right now. It's going to be, who are you believing so far? And I didn't say trusting. I said, who are you believing?
Believing.
So, right? There's a big difference here, believing and trusting, because you can always change your mind. So, but as of right now, as of this moment, right now, which one of these guys are you believing their story? That's what I want to know.
Oz says, who are you believing so far? Type 1 or 2, Lou or Gerb. 1 for Lou, 2 for Gerb. Oz a moment ago said, look up, everyone. Don't assume you won't see it. People saw a Tic Tac in Vermont this week. Bright blue sky, white Tic Tac flying over the mountains north of the capital. Look up. Agreed.
Absolutely.
Beth bailed out. She's got a migraine. I feel you, Beth. Today is the first day this week that I've not had a migraine.
Yeah, we get the weather changes. That happens.
Yep.
All right, let's go to our next one.
Hold on, real quick. Wasn't Lou recently on a television program about actually releasing this stuff and not covering up? It wasn't a TV program, but it was a documentary.
Yeah.
And it was called Era of Disclosure, is that right?
Age of Disclosure, I do believe, was the name of the program that you're. Yeah, it's Era of Disclosure is right, because
there's an updated one on YouTube, by the way, too. I don't know if you guys knew that.
What's that?
No, I did not.
There's an update to. No. I don't think they're calling it Age of Disclosure, but it's jumping off Age of Disclosure, a newly updated thing on YouTube. I just saw.
I have to check that out.
No, I didn't know that.
I'll find the name of it here. You guys have probably seen it. It's in their movie documentary section.
Okay.
Richard Dolan did a video on this a couple hours ago. Haven't watched it yet.
Nope, sure haven't. I'm sure everybody's doing a video.
Oh,
on this because like I said, this is going to rip through UFO land.
Yeah.
Like a F5 tornado. I'm not even kidding you guys.
Yeah.
This is what's happening right now.
Pick your battle lines.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
For real. This is what it's going to come down to. We know that there are those people out there who have said for years, you can't trust Lou. Lou's a this or that. I don't know. I don't know the guy. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have no dog in this fight. Neither one of us do. But we do know that we're being lied to. And we don't know who the liar is or who the liars are. But we do know that we have been lied to. And we do know that there's been truth injected into those lies to confuse everybody. That's what we know so far.
There we go.
All right. So we got a lot of votes tallying up there. Let's see where we're setting.
It's looking.
Oh, holy cow.
It's looking pretty much like a runaway. Man, I've never seen this. Yeah, I've never seen this before. This is amazing. Wow. Are you serious? Keep voting, guys. Get your vote in. 1 or 2. Which one of these guys are you believing the story of right now? Okay. You can change your mind later on.
Octopus says 3. Wild and Weird, West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you, Octopus.
The next poll was, do you believe Ron is an alien? 1 or 2. Yes or no?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Take us presentation. We got the next one. Yeah.
Lou Elizondo, there are some staunch allegations that prior to him going public with the Leslie Kean New York Times article in 2017, I think the article is called Glowing Auras and Black Money, where 3 forward-looking infrared videos of anomalous signatures or UAP were released. There are pretty heavy allegations that Lou Elizondo himself had experience within the UAP legacy programs. There hasn't been much discussion about what this role was, but this alleged role was technology protection and program protection for the programs.
But to be fair to Lou has spoken quite openly about the retrieval program, the fact that there are craft that have been recovered. He's candidly admitted that Roswell was real. He's talked about the reverse engineering program. If you're accusing him of a cover-up, where's the evidence?
Well, first of all, let me just say I'm not accusing him of a cover-up. I'm relaying allegations because I don't want to get...
So, important right here, what he says. He's not accusing. He's relaying allegations. That's legal talk, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Well, first of all, let me just say I'm not accusing him of a cover-up. I'm relaying allegations because I don't want to get sued. And you do have to be careful of that with Lou to get sued or kind of threatened. So let me just make that clear. I'm making allegations. But I wouldn't be so sure he's been so open on the topic of crash retrievals and reverse engineering.
So let's go back. I want to go right back to 2017. I've always been fascinated with the allegations of Tom DeLonge from Blink 182 because, frankly, absurd as it may sound, I think a prominent rock star has come the closest to explaining what was really going on, and he did this almost inadvertently. There were a cluster of leaked emails between Tom DeLonge and John Podesta, then working in a senior position in the White House, prior to the Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump presidential election campaign. What did those emails reveal?
Those emails essentially revealed a coordinated disclosure attempt to establish Hillary Clinton as the precedent to bring disclosure, albeit a limited disclosure.
Think about what you just heard. There were rumors of this that went around back in the day. We just thought they were normal rumors. You know, the whole political thing. Vote for me and I'm going to give you the truth about UFOs, you know, that kind of thing. We've heard this before too, by the way. It's been a thing. There are, you know, that's always been something that these guys have run with, and they've just conveniently forgotten as soon as they're elected. So what he just says basically here is that that was a plan, that they were going to roll out disclosure back then. What?
What stopped it? Yeah.
Well, according to, well, let's let him tell us what stopped it. Yeah, here we go.
And the real impetus for this was Lieutenant General at the time, Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper. James Clapper gave cover for the ATIP activity. ATIP was not a real program.
We've heard this before as well, by the way. You'll note there's some prominent names who actually have said the same thing.
Yeah.
One of them's writing a book right now, if I understand correctly. And we should be able to actually read that soon. So that's going to be another big division that's going to be coming up in the community as soon as that gets released.
ATIP was not a sub-SAP under OSAP, a special access program. ATIP was an informal working group that had no budget and was essentially only real on paper.
In other words, what he's saying, if I'm right here, Joe, it was an informal working group, meaning it was almost like a club. It was almost like a special program.
Like they all had this joint interest and said, hey, let's, you know, we're in positions to do X.
Yeah.
We have clearances to do X. Let's go ahead and
do it.
Do an informal, unfunded thing because we're already doing it kinda, but not in an official capacity.
Yeah. Bringing it all together.
Yeah.
The ATIP was a cover for several National Security Council activities. If we relay the allegations of Dave Grush on the Megyn Kelly program, the Judicial Watch program, and some others, Dave Grush has directly stated that James Clapper was one of the kind of central head figures for the UAP legacy program, for specifically the National Security Council's crash retrieval portfolio. So James Clapper establishing the ATIP as a cover for several National Security Council activities, appointing Lou Elizondo as the frontman for ATIP, that was a limited disclosure campaign that originated from within the legacy program onion layers of secrecy.
What was the
there's that onion word again, Joe. Have you noticed
Yeah.
this onion word that has been thrown into the public zeitgeist at this point? What is
Layers
that?
and
You know,
layers.
the onion originated with
layers.
a movie called Shrek, where ogres are like onions. They have layers.
I mean, maybe that could be possible.
But this is how so many other things are, man. Like specifically when you get into like government SAPs, they are very much like an onion in the sense that there are layers and walls in between the layers.
Yeah, right.
And it's just God. If you've ever been to the Pentagon is designed exactly that way.
Right.
It's I
find it interesting that they're all using the same terminology.
Oh yeah, well,
all of them.
Yeah,
the plan.
All of them are using the same terminology. I didn't say that. How
many times have we seen those clips about in the media cycle?
Right.
Where news anchors across the board
are saying the same thing.
Are saying the same script.
Someone is writing that script, my friend.
Across the entire country, not just in actually the world for that matter.
World sometimes. Sometimes it's the world. So that's a fact. That's not conspiracy theory. You can go up, do a little research, dig yourself. Doesn't matter, again, if you believe it or not. But the data is the data. And the data shows that there are common words that are being used. There are common tropes here that have been played out repeatedly by the media. In the end, we're going to have enough data for you to take this poll again here in just a little bit, and we're going to see how much you trust at this point.
Motivation, though, what were they trying to do by doing a limited disclosure? Were they trying to contain what President Clinton, Hillary Clinton, would have revealed?
Yes, absolutely. I think that disclosure would have seen the disclosure and presence of an extant non-human presence on this planet, but relegating that presence to anomalous signatures, 5 observables, and really a huge mystery of what these sort of anomalous signatures are in our sky. There would be zero discussion of reverse engineering, zero discussion of crash retrievals, zero discussion of derivative technologies or exploited technologies. And like you mentioned, crash retrievals in Elizondo, this can be observed perfectly with the testimony of David Grush. In June of 2023, David Grush testified before Congress about the UAP legacy program. He discussed decades of crash retrievals, reverse engineering efforts, misappropriation of funds to fund these programs. Prior to 2023, Lou Elizondo essentially did not discuss crash retrievals bar Roswell. Roswell, you can make an exception because essentially Roswell is a cultural zeitgeist event at the moment in the United States.
Because Lou said Roswell was real.
Yes.
I mean, if he's part of a cover-up, if he's trying to conceal this recovery program, why did he talk about it?
Well, you can't talk about Roswell. So right there is your number one clue that something's not right. Right, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. And Dave, you were getting ready to mention something a moment ago. Well,
I was going to say in journalism, I want to use a polite curse word, but I just want to say in journalism, if you're not pissing somebody off, then you're not doing your job. If you're playing it safe and people are like agreeing with you, then you're, I think you're kind of fake, in my opinion.
Well, real quick before we go too far, you're talking about people keeping it real and keeping it as real as it gets.
Exactly.
This fella right here, Creepalacha.
He's making people mad. Oh, Creepalacha, yeah.
He keeps it real. He's got a fantastic channel. You guys can copy that at Creepalacha.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it up in your YouTube search bar here in a bit. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't. He covers all kinds of anomalous activities, true crimes, current events, and everything else, and covers it in a just in your face, no frills, straight up the line fashion. So go check him out. We've been on the show before. We had a blast with him. So yeah, go check him out here in a bit as well.
And he's not afraid to respond back when somebody attacks him.
No, he gets a kick out of it.
I respect that.
Much like Joe. Anyway, let us carry on. Thank you.
All right. So now before we dive too much deeper in it, because this is a really good clip, and I don't want to run too far.
Yeah,
we're going to get some of the stuff here.
Yeah, we're going to get to learn why and why allegedly this is taking place. Go ahead.
So we have there's a couple times where Enzo is correct here, where Gerb, I don't know if it was necessarily that he was embarrassed about what he was saying, or that he just knew what he was saying was going to get the fire turned at him. And it was like, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud on what surmises to national television.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oz says, I know people love Gerb, but I am suspicious. You should be of everyone.
You should be. That's the whole point.
Pat, I'm alleging that both Lou and Gerb are secret lovers, and this is all a cover.
Please.
Secret lover.
Things do happen these days.
No.
Man.
All right, carry on.
Yep, go for it.
Well as so far in the past, it is very easy to say that the materials, programs that once existed surrounding Roswell, holdings, possible biologics, breakthroughs, are so long in the past that chain of custody is broken. You know, maybe the materials got sent to Wright-Patterson, and then who knows what happened, or there had been no breakthroughs from that. Additionally, Elizondo and others could say that other high-level sources told them about Roswell, and that's how they knew that. But once Dave Grush spoke about the UAP Legacy program, then Elizondo started speaking about crash retrievals. And if you listen to Elizondo's testimony in 2024, he directly told Representative Nancy Mace he was and had been under a non-disclosure agreement regarding crash.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Not interesting?
Yeah.
It was intentional, was it?
So, no. That would mean, again, that apparently there was some form of crash retrieval, right? But he didn't talk about it until someone else did, which means that's what you kind of do. You kind of, if someone says you got to counter it, you got to protect it, right? You got to point, you got to go in there and kick the ball toward the other goalpost. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to intercept it and turn it around. Well, Lou definitely intercepted this, just to let you know. And he responded. And we also have Lou's response here for you as well. Now, Lou is driving across country, by the way. I want you to listen to this.
Howdy, folks. Lou here. As you can tell, I'm in my pickup truck, and I'm hauling, what you can't see is a substantially long.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Interstellar UAP here. That's where this particular clip was from. Always go over and catch some of their stuff. And, you know, I like how they sum stuff up as well.
Yeah.
Trailer, almost 50-foot flatbed. For those of you who might not know, I have made a permanent move to the Washington, D.C. area. And I'm still in the process of collecting my things and my items. But I am there as disclosure is a full-time commitment for myself. I'd like to discuss with you a few things for these short moments. Forgive me, I am at a rest stop right now, so I'm not driving. But I do have to get back on the road.
Okay, so he's literally at a rest stop, driving across country, driving across country, and decides to respond to this episode
in TikTok truck video fashion.
What I mean, okay, just put that on your plate. That's part of your evidence. All right. So
I would like to talk about the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement that everybody thinks that the president has just somehow magically waived, and now we don't have an NDA anymore. It is true that the president signed a presidential directive that has not been yet made public, so we don't know exactly what's in there. And I applaud that effort. I think it's fantastic. It's a great move forward. The problem is it doesn't alleviate us from our NDAs. What it does, it alleviates us from our NDAs from discussing this conversation about UAP with none other than who? Arrow, which, as you know, I already did. Spoke several times with Arrow. And unfortunately, at the time, Sean Kirkpatrick, the former director, didn't do a whole lot of good with that. Secondly, we can also talk to Pursue, which I may already be talking to elements of Pursue. But unfortunately, it has not alleviated my ability to speak to the general public. And this is why it's important that the U.S. government really push hard to continue to pass legislation so folks like myself, the whistleblowers, can come forward and have that conversation, not just internally within the U.S. government, but with you specifically.
There's the sell, right? But there's also the counter. I'm not going to be able to talk about this, but we already told you they're not going to be able to talk about this. We said this from
part
day
of the
one.
script. Day one, part of the script.
Yeah, get us where we can, go and reveal this stuff, but not to the general public. We have to reveal this to Congress first, and then we have to probably have a committee sit down and try to figure out what we should and shouldn't let the public know.
Well, think about how Congress has addressed this. Even my favorite daggum representative on the whole topic at the moment.
Yeah.
Every time that this has been mentioned, there is a systematic process to the narrative. They kept it from us.
Yeah.
They kept it from Congress.
Money. Where's the money going?
Kept it from the American people.
Yeah.
At what point, and this is what gets me, okay? At what point, because I wore the stars and bars for real.
Right.
Just like many of the people who were in this chat.
Yes, sir.
At what point in our service was it ever not we the people first?
Right.
When was it ever us and then the people of the United States?
Right. I mean, it was always we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We the people, and we have forgotten that. It's not we the people anymore. It's we the government will tell the people how it's going to be. And here's the problem with it. The people, honestly, are some of them, not all of you. Some of you are just wonderful. You know exactly what you're doing, but there are some out there who are absolutely just falling right into that. Oh yes, please help us. Please show us the way. Use your AI robots and your AI security to watch our streets. Things like that. That's not how this works, people. That's the problem. And the more that you give away your freedom, it's harder to get back. It's way harder to get back than to give. I'll just tell you that.
What strikes me, guys, too? I mean, like, who moves cross country, who's already been retired from the military, has left the government, like in a situation, who moves all across country to take on a job doing what he's going to be doing? You're talking about a huge living expense. I don't know what it's costing out there exactly in the Midwest, out west, but
now out
DC
west,
is not cheap.
Land is fairly cheap. You can build a bunker on a budget.
Yeah,
I heard he did.
Not that him moving is a suspicion builder, but it's just, I wouldn't make
the
that
DC
move.
metro area.
Yeah.
Sweet Lord in heaven.
Oh my God.
No way I'd make that move. I would not live in DC. You couldn't pay me enough money to live in DC, no matter
someone paid him.
How many aliens are coming out?
Say it again, Ron.
Someone paid him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now
that's kind of what I'm getting at. So,
now we have to really look at why. Jordan Booker brings up a very, very good point, folks. There are over 50 some of you out there looking, and it just drifts and drifts and drifts. But please hit that like button. Let's get this into the algorithm. Let's push it out there so other people can see it. I mean, we're not making allegations and screaming and yelling like some of these folks do and pointing fingers at that guy or this guy. We're just pointing out that, look, here's the data. You make up your own mind, because you need to be doing this at the end of the day. You need to do this. They don't need to do it for you. You need to do it. And in order to do it, you need to see both sides of the argument. Right now, we're listening to Lou's side of the argument. Now, he brought up that, right? Because he's playing the part here. He's telling you what he needs, got to make this update. But then there's a, oh, by the way moment. And this is where he really launches into what this whole post was about. Presentation mode, sir, please. I believe it is this one.
The second issue was brought to my attention that there was a interview done very recently on Ross Coulthard's Reality Check show under the News Nation moniker. And they had a guest on there that spoke really some incredible outlandish claims that are 180 degrees false and they're just not factual. And so what I want to do is address that real quick. And why is that? Because in this process of disclosure, there are people out there that are trying to hijack and derail this conversation by feeding you false information. People who claim to be on the inside, who know information, they don't. And they're saying things, frankly, I can only suspect for clicks and likes. So please be careful of that. First and foremost, one of the allegations was that ATIP was a limited hangout. Well, let's not forget that in 2009, Senator Harry Reid himself, who was the chairperson for the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence for the U.S. Senate, that was his program. That was his. They paid for it with U.S. taxpayer money, and he even sent a letter in 2009, official memo to the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Lynn, at the time. So if this was a limited hangout that was being paid by U.S. government taxpayer money, then by default you're saying that the sissy itself is a limited hangout, and by extension the U.S. Congress and even the U.S. government. So that simply doesn't make sense. It's factually not correct. It's not true. Not sure where this individual's getting their information, but they're not getting it from people who actually know. Another allegation that was made during this interview was that somehow General Clapper and I had colluded with one another to try to go ahead and create this soft disclosure, and that we were going to go ahead and manage it and control it. That is 1,000% not accurate. In fact, we never had such a conversation, and Jim Clapper and I never meant to have that conversation. So again, it's factually not correct. And the problem is that you have an individual here who is sensationalizing stuff and making stuff up, quite frankly, who has ulterior motives. That's deceiving you.
He's 1,000% sure, but I am 1 trillion% sure somebody here is lying, and I don't know which one.
Yeah,
and that's where all of you should be as well.
You've got two people, both of which very large personalities in this space, both saying we're being deceived.
We know that part's true.
We're telling the truth, but about whom?
Right.
Whoever's thinking that whoever's the guilty party is, they're just hanging the carrot in front of the UAP crowd, saying pick and cause confusion.
No, you're not wrong. That's it. That's exactly what's happening. They want this. They want this to happen. They've tried it before. We've seen it before. We've seen this game played before, just not to this level. This is a big level. I mean, this is a big one. That's why I said this has the potential to really devastate certain elements within the UFO community. That's what this has, based upon what is happening right now. We're supposed to give a lecture trying to explain this current phenomena, the current UFO phenomena at Mothman this year. That's our task. We've been tasked with doing this.
Yeah, we didn't pick our topic.
It couldn't
we
have
were
happened.
Actually requested to do this topic.
It couldn't have happened at a worse time.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I can't even tell you what's happening, but we're going to. We're going to, because some of this is actually pointing us in the direction to where the patterns that we saw might actually be legit, right, Joe?
Oh, absolutely.
That's terrifying, absolutely. By the way. You don't want that.
You don't want that version of disclosure.
You don't want that version of reality.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to be editing the script right up until Mothman, because it's going to be changing on a daily
basis. I know. No question. No question. No question.
Jordan says Lou's working hard to defend himself on several allegations, trying to control the narrative before he even gets to DC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then let's see. There was Oz brought up a point earlier, which this has been a contentious thing quite a bit with Lou and his Wyoming bunker and how he did things and business ventures that he claimed to be on that were never saw any kind of like fruit, I guess we'll call. Never saw anything to come about it. Then Enzo says the average cost for a 1-bedroom apartment in Washington, D.C. metro area ranges $21 to $23 per month.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
And that's on the low end. When you start getting in the area where Lou is going to be looking in the government area, your nosebleeds. Our tax dollars are getting set on fire to pay for somebody to stay in an apartment in DC.
And that's probably like 500 square feet or less too.
Yeah.
So, all right, takes back presentation. We got a few more of these to click through because we got to get to the end of Lou's, rebuttal here.
Furthermore, they're getting attention on a national news network that, by the way, I respect, and that's always been a friend of disclosure, and now manipulating them and providing false information to their audience to the point where they're like a tabloid. And I think this is problematic. If you want to know why I've always said I want to destroy ufology and replace it with something better, this is why. Because of bad actors like this, people who come out, they're just interested in clicks and likes. They're only.
You remember this? You remember when he said he was wanting to destroy ufologists? It was 2 years ago, about 2 years ago. And everybody was like, what's he talking about? They were talking about wanting to not destroy it. But as he says right here, he tells you exactly what he wanted to do. Black lung.
Thanks, Black Lung. We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is why.
Interested in manufactured and false drama, and they're going about doing things that are actually putting disclosure further back than where we are. And this is a problem. I'll share something else with you too, another anecdote about to show you the character of this individual. Recently, as a month ago, I attended a function in Washington, D.C. This individual happened to be there. I didn't know who he was, but I saw a circle of people surrounding him, and they were berating him. I worried for his safety to some degree, and maybe figured he was getting picked on, and walked over and interjected. And as I pulled him away, I was told, hey, that's the guy that's been talking crap about everybody and been making things up. So I pulled him aside, and I said, hey, look, these people are obviously pretty upset with you. If you have any questions in the future, here's my personal cell phone number. Now, this went against my better judgment, but I did it anyways. As you all know, I'm very open and transparent. So I said, look, if you ever have any questions, please give me a call. And obviously, he looked at me. To me, it looked like tears in his eyes.
Pay attention to what he said right there. Looked like. So he didn't say he had tears in his eyes. What looked to me like. There's a reason that I'm stopping it right there, is because this is right out of the playbook. This is how you go after someone, right, Joe?
It really is. You start to, in various ways, cause an apparent delamination in their character.
Yeah.
You try to attack their character in a way to make them look weak, to make them look on the run, to make them look as if they are not who they're purporting.
Yeah.
This was a direct attack on character.
That's what it is. It's a character attack. That's what that is. And that's part of the play. That's what they do. It's what they did with Grush too. If you recall, that's the same thing. David Eggleston, multiple blessings. What have I missed? Have we finally agreed that demons are controlling disclosure? Well, in a way they are, just to let you know.
Asteroids, daggone it. It's asteroids.
In a way they are. All right, so let's continue this. I just wanted to point that out. There's a little bit of psychology involved in this, and it's a repeating pattern in the field if you watch.
Looked at me and said, oh, okay, sir, yes, I promise I'll do that. I'll make sure that I call you if I have any questions in the future, and I won't do that. And just start spewing off of garbage. And I look at him and said, good, I appreciate that. We can be friends. I'm happy to, whether you agree with me or not, I'm happy to give you information. Just reach out to me and I can clarify stuff. Well, guess what? A month later, he goes on a network television series and starts spewing off more crap that was completely wrong. He never called me once.
It gets better. It gets way better, because now we get to the meat and potatoes, as they should say. I don't really like potatoes. You know this, Joe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Ron does not like potatoes unless they're fried.
That's right.
The Irish might not like you, Ron, if you were saying that.
No, they've got to be fried. They've got to be fried. A really good loaded baked potato, maybe, but that's just on a rare occasion. Anyway, here we go.
There you go.
So what kind of due diligence, investigative type skill set does it require just to go out and make up stuff about people, right? And this is why we're having a problem. If you want to know what's wrong with the UFO community, you have people out
Says the counterintelligence guy.
there. And by the way, yes, I'm addressing you who lied, to look in the mirror. You're the reason why we're having this problem with disclosure. You're the reason why people don't take this topic seriously. And frankly, you should be ashamed of yourself. I know I'm ashamed for what you did. You should be embarrassed. And the fact that you're talking to people and claiming you have access to stuff you don't, I don't ever remember you in any of the meetings that I was at the Pentagon or at ATIP, quite frankly. In fact, if you want inside information, going to talk to somebody and saying you have an inside source, as far as I'm concerned, that's called gossip. That's not information. And secondly, I think it's also important to say that as you continue to disparage and provide false information, remember there's real consequences. There are real consequences for your actions and what you are doing. And I would not want to be you right now, because when this all comes out that you're just BSing, I think there's going to be a price to pay.
Why would you do that?
Right? So
why would you do that? I want to know why you would do that.
The threat.
Why would you do that?
I've never seen him so butthurt before.
He's hurt. He's mad. He is absolutely fuming when he's doing this. That's why I wanted to show this. And you can hear the way he's talking, his cadence in his voice, the way he's breathing. Why would you do that? Why would you show your cards?
So, and this is just my opinion. I don't know any of the parties involved.
Right.
This is just my opinion.
Based on the pattern that we've seen with other people throughout history.
And particularly with Lou, like this is actually an opinion based off Lou. And it's has nothing to do with whether he's telling the truth or not.
Right.
Lou has he's got this air about him, right? This desire and the just
he seems kind of passionate
wish to maintain prestige.
Seems kind of passionate with a side of arrogance.
A little bit, but he likes to control his own narrative.
Oh, okay.
He likes to make his own announcements.
Yeah.
He likes things to come out when he's the one telling it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
There were rumors and rumbles about a UFO or UAP czar position, or someone that was going to come in and take the reins and be like the disclosure, the guy that kind of pulled the reins for disclosure and moved it to and fro. And there were rumors that Lou was interested in that, or was talking about that. He'd even made some subtle hints himself. But the fact that it was announced on another show by two individuals that were not him, that this was what he was doing, and then he had to make a video that he was moving to DC, in fact, to do a thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk about that. I mean, like, if you're going to go to work for a top secret program, why would you want to tell them where you're going to live?
I don't think it is. I don't think it is top secret.
Yeah, it's not a top secret program. This is going to be the public relations arm,
that was a flag,
or at least the bumper pads to keep what they want
between the lines,
private sector and public sector.
Yeah, there's got to be a between the lines, and that's what it's for. And that's the whole point. You know, that's what this was. This was just a flex. That whole the first part, and then it goes into that at the end, and that's not a flex.
We haven't seen a formal announcement. No. Somebody jumped the gun to the formal announcement, and then he was like, "It may or may not be because of X." I can't say whether that's what it's about. Then why mention it?
Yeah, why did you mention that? Like, that to me is like, what?
It's a tell.
Yeah.
I can't say that this is what it is, but this is what it is. Tell me that that's what you're doing without telling me that's what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if we might see a release tomorrow with all that's been going on this past week. It seems like every time it amps up like this, a release comes and it winds down for a couple weeks.
You almost need it at this point to diffuse the situation and to scatter the troops, so to speak. Right, Joe? You almost need that cluster, don't you? You do. Yep. You really do. Can we just launch both of them into?
Brenda,
dog boy there.
I lost Brenda's. Where'd it go? I was jumping to the next one.
Oh no, it was dog boy who I was reading, but he asked.
Brenda said, "Can we launch them both into space?"
Yeah, can we launch them both into space? Okay. Anyway,
He did ask him if he was on
there we
steroids.
go, dog boy. There you go,
yeah,
Ron.
Yeah, we just launch them both into space and tell them they can come back if they bring the aliens with them. Yeah, sure. That sounds a good plan to me. I mean, go ahead with Dave.
Maybe Lou shouldn't have bought so many debunked case, hook, line, and sinker. Then maybe he'd have more street cred.
Ouchie.
Jordan says desperation and threats are as stinky as cologne for a truthful man.
Well, that's your problem. You wouldn't make that. You wouldn't make that move. You would not say that. And you know this. You don't show your hand unless you know what you're talking about, or unless you're really, really, really ticked off.
Yeah.
And he got under his skin. He showed his hand. That's not professional, in my opinion.
And you know, he probably doesn't have a PR team.
Yeah.
Just yet.
Yeah. It kind of
So
seems
he's
like he
having to
does.
manage it all himself at the moment.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
Oz says Grush, Lou, and Ross all made statements overly complimentary to Trump to try and get a role in disclosure. It's gross.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily that. I think they wanted. I think that they've got a plan, and if you watch the entire interview, you'll see it. You've got Lou, who is trying to desperately get on that team. They're wanting on that team, right? And you've got Grush, who is kind of, if he gets on that team, he's going to do something different. And I think that's what they're terrified of.
Yeah.
That, I think, is what the real situation is. 60 folks here. Hey, welcome, guys. Come on in. Have this conversation with us. This does affect you, or at least it will. Very shortly, probably, because there's something going to happen and you're going to want to be prepared, basically, because ufology is about to change. And I do believe that.
Yeah. Well, you guys know, too, I mean, this might be part of this subject here in a little bit, but, you know, even Corbell's been getting attacked pretty hard the past week or so.
There has been a series of people who have gotten attacked. We're not going to talk about it because there's so many of them. But if you go out and watch, there has been a lot.
The laundry list of people who are getting pot shots taken at them. It is the way I mentioned it to Ron was like, thank God.
Yeah.
We are not like part of that circle because I would come unhinged.
Yeah. I don't want to be in the middle.
We're not even a notch on a totem pole.
I don't even want to be. Well, I don't want to be. That's the whole thing.
No, I'm not interested in being the talking heads.
No.
Yeah.
They can have that space for themselves. We're not, we do documentary stuff. We're not
different
journalists first. We are researchers first. We come to you guys. We sit with you guys. We have the conversation communally.
Yeah, I think
we are
documentarians.
Researchers first and foremost.
I think we're researchers and documentarians first and foremost. That's what I think. Don't you think about it covers it up?
Yeah, because we're not. Yeah, we do break down the news for you guys in a way that is could be entertaining, I guess, to some, but we break it down in a way that makes it digestible.
Yeah.
And more on a person level rather than from 30,000 foot.
Yeah.
Which is what you're getting with a lot of these folks. But we have the angle that we can come from that 90% of the other guys who are out there talking don't.
We'll guarantee it. And you know what? We're actually going to be talking about that right now because, we have some other clips from someone who else kept his head down this week and didn't take any shots from anyone because he plays the game the right way. And that's Jesse Michels over at American Alchemy. He had Brandon Fugal on, of all people. And again, I'd advise you go watch this. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing interview. There are so many things that are touched on in this. What's David saying? Oh, We'll never let that go.
I love the callback, Dave. I love it.
We're never going to let it go.
You need a sound clip now from Pet Shop Boys.
We do.
Oh, no, we don't. Don't even do it.
Oh, yeah, you do. Come on, Joe, do it.
Do not.
Oh,
I swear, I will leave right now.
Joe, you're my hero if you do it.
Octopus asked real quick before we jump off and into the Jesse Michels and Brandon Fugal stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Octopus asked which one of these guys is setting off the sixth sense.
Both.
Yes,
I can't. I'm telling you, both are doing it, and that's why I wanted to do this, because if we're confused, you're confused.
Yeah,
there's no question, because it's not a matter of one's brighter than the other. They're both brilliant when it comes to their specialties, right? But both are saying some interesting things. Both are causing the needle to move in a way that they want it to move. The needle shouldn't move the way that someone wants it to move. It should move the way that it's going to move naturally.
Agreed. And it makes me wonder what it is in the undertow of all of this situation that's going on.
Yeah.
That we didn't know about. Like, yeah, we get that there are some factions floating around, or we kind of know where most of these guys sit. But what happened exactly to bring this up?
Yeah.
Was it preemptive? Was it
part of the plan?
Part of the plan?
Mm.
Was it in a way to try to get out in front of something?
Right.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And it's because nobody is playing or showing their cards. Nope. And to a degree, I don't think any of them are playing the game with a complete deck. They're just throwing what they have.
Yeah. Trying to come out on top. It's more like a game of war than anything.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. It's not about hands. It's about numbers. Which number's higher? That's what it's all about at this point. Who ranks the highest? That's where it's at. And, in some cases, that's who has the most clicks, who has the most views, who has the most, the biggest audience. When News Nation is involved in it, right? You got that. You've got all these guys. Pay attention to what's happening out there. There are forces at work that are they've been trying to, but they're really trying to tear apart the UFO community from within. And it's not hard. All you got to do is just throw them a little bit of confusion and chaos. They'll do it themselves. They've done it before. They'll rip themselves apart. It's simple. It's in their nature. That's been used against them. All right, so let's jump over to Skinwalker Ranch and talk about some of this stuff, because there's some really cool stuff I just wanted to touch on. Again, this is a massively long interview. Go listen to the whole thing after you listen to this one, and just sit back and enjoy it. But I picked out just a few little clips that are relevant to something that we can talk about, something that we have actually seen. Something that made me say, oh, wow, check that out. And the last clip, boy, you ain't going to believe that. That's got a story onto its own. So let's start out right here. They were talking about the hitchhiker effect, Joe.
The hitchhiker effect, which I didn't believe in, and I thought was just mythology to a degree, or people kind of just imagining things, has come home to roost in my life. It took a lot of years, but just in the last 2 years, I've witnessed the hitchhiker effect. Unfortunately, something that day was not happy with the work we were doing. Something or someone was active in the space, and everything went wrong. For the next several weeks, starting that night, everything felt different at home. We have a little Shih Tzu. My wife and I, Kristen, have a little Shih Tzu. I swear he runs the place. His name is Arthur. I don't know if you have any pets, but Arthur the dog. And he's very docile, sleeps all night, is very quiet. But that night I got home, he got up on the edge of the bed and wouldn't stop growling, like just Cujo-like, just growling harshly into the corner of the room, into just kind of a dark corner of the room.
Now, many of you guys have had this happen before, right? I mean, how many of you have seen that?
Yeah.
We've got people who have pets in here. You got cats that do this. You got dogs that do this. I've got cats that'll do it. They'll sit and stare at the corner. I've gotten to the point now to where it's like, okay, just stay over there, or, you know, either help out, go clean some dishes in the, you know, kitchen. I don't know.
My ghost cats even do it.
Your ghost cats. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm
Read
saying.
earthquakes before they happen.
They're, you know, so it's real. I mean, you know, these things do happen. And anyone who looks into this phenomenon long enough is going to tell you, yes, there is such a thing as this so-called hitchhiker effect, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm not sure what it is, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if it's, you know, necessarily what they think it is, or if it's just a residual effect that your mind's in after you experience something like that.
Well, you got to think too, the manner of their experiments.
Yeah.
Their approach to UFO research is, let's shoot a rocket at it. Like,
oh boy, that's
like,
true.
We don't do that for a reason. One, it's expensive. Two, it goes back to kind of like with Bigfoot research, you don't know what that's going to mean.
Yeah.
To someone else.
Yeah.
If you go out and just start doing random yells or beating on the trees.
Yeah, for example.
You don't know what it means if you shoot. I mean, I know what it means to me if you shoot a rocket at me. But if like if I'm shooting a rocket at space, like we're gonna get this UFO to show up by shooting a rocket at it.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I'll watch it all day.
Yeah.
I'll watch it all day, and I thank God that it's not me doing it.
Right.
But no, like it makes sense. Like, we've had hitchhiker effect stuff happen, and we're not doing rockets. We're just having really weird encounters with things, and
we don't have fuel money.
We don't have fugal money. That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's right.
But we could have fugal money, Brandon.
We could be Trash Panda Farms.
Totally. Anyway, if you're really interested in this stuff. But no, the next clip though, he talks about this, you know, this hitchhiker effect and how it did something around the house. And I want you to hear how they interpret this. And then I want you to think about what we experienced and what we have talked about since, because not only is ufology nonlinear, it seems that the phenomena itself is nonlinear. So let's find that one. It's right here. Check this out.
That proceeded about every night, right around 3 a.m. or so. He would get up and start growling and barking at something that wasn't there.
Do you remember an object that moved?
Her wedding ring.
Wow.
So her wedding ring was actually moved. It's
not something you don't remember moving.
No. And in fact, I wish she was here to tell the story, but she got up in the morning and she has a little dish that she always keeps her jewelry in there on her dresser, and every night takes off her jewelry and everything else. Well, she got up the next morning, got ready, and the ring was gone. And she searched everywhere, and everything else was there. Didn't know what to make of it. No one had been in our home that we are aware of, and she ended up saying she's a very spiritual person. So she ended up praying the rosary. She's Catholic in her background, praying the rosary and saying prayer that she would find it was just frantic. And in her mind's eye, she saw that ring in the pocket of a robe that we had acquired at a hotel that was in her closet that she hadn't worn for months. And she literally got up from prayer, walked into her closet, searched for that robe that she had not worn in months, dipped into that pocket, and it was there.
All right, kids, what's that called? I think we all know. That is basic remote viewing for anyone who doesn't know. He also goes on to tell about how they, after that, had someone come in and bless the house and all this and everything, quit. And some would look at that, including them probably, and say, oh, it was obviously some evil spirit that did this or that. Think about what we've said about the phenomena, how it behaves, how it tries to not manipulate you, but make you think, make you do the work, make you figure it out, make you see the greater side of reality, the bigger side of reality. I wonder if she'd ever remote viewed up to that point.
Remote viewing, for anybody who's not familiar, it can happen anytime you go into a deep meditation.
Yep.
And he said that she was Catholic.
Yep.
And there is very much a, ritualistic prayer and meditation. So it's very possible.
Yep. Now, the whole point is when you look at it that way, doesn't mean that that's what it is, but it could definitely be how it works. Consciousness, intent. We've said this multiple times. Intent, serious intent. Well, you're much more serious than you just lost your wedding ring. So if I'm trying to teach you a lesson, I might do something like that. I'm just saying. All right, go to the next one. Video.
Pat says it sounds like a premonition to me.
Could be.
What if it happened the way that he described it, the flash in the head? That's exactly how it should work with remote viewing. And that's not to say that premonition is the same thing. These are all labels, guys. Now, you guys remember a few years ago when they talked about that one episode where the eye living thing happened, right? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another aspect of consciousness and making, some form of contact with this thing. They talk a little bit about that and how that went down as well. And I have that clip as well. So go ahead and go us into the presentation there. Guys, go ahead and get your comments, your questions, and we're starring them as we go, and we'll pop them up here.
He was registering what ended up being thousands of intrusion events captured on the video surveillance of the command center. In the command center. And at the height of frustration, Eric Bard vocally says, if you have something to tell me, tell me. If you have something to show me, show me. And in that moment, the screen morphs, and thank goodness Bard has the presence of mind to screen capture, to literally save what happened on that screen. And then it goes back and is restored. And upon examination, you see that screen, something had manipulated that image to pull letters together completely out of sequence, no explanation, pull them together in a millisecond to form the words I living.
And then I said, all right, if you got something you want to show me, show me. If you got something you want to tell me, tell me. Then this is the immediate screenshot.
Oh, God.
If that isn't evidence that that we're dealing with communication, that we're dealing with intelligence and volition.
Yeah, he's not wrong as far as it goes with the whole communication thing. And you know, the crazy part about that is how he actually asked that question, and the way that he asked that question was very similar to what happened to me ages ago that started this whole nonsense pretty much.
It's also very similar to what we did with Paranormal Horizons.
Exactly.
It's not really different than our Ghost Watch days either, like the ghost hunting responses, questions responses, either it be EVP or whatever.
Yeah, it's not very
similar.
dissimilar, but there's certain keywords, and it may take you literal, is what I'm trying to say here. So he kind of got lucky, in my opinion. It could have been a lot worse. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Booker says it's interesting that the hitchhiker effect affected her and not him directly. One thing that we've noticed just with our research, is that it's not necessarily who it affects. It's how is it going to get your attention?
Yeah. That seems to be
what will be the easiest way to get your attention?
The underlying factor. Yeah, that does seem to be the underlying factor. Like if you're looking for one thing, you may see something completely different that throws you off on another trail. You're like, it's hard to even explain, honestly, unless you've actually experienced it. But I can tell you it's real. And if they're making, this is what I've always said about Skinwalker Ranch. We had people in the beginning, before we ever did Paranormal Horizons, we were going out and doing the talks and whatnot. And we were doing our research, and we had already discovered a couple of things that were very similar. And like, you know, if you watch that show, there are certain things that are repeatable. You can do it yourself. The question is, why does it work? And we don't really know why it works, but it does. We've repeated it multiple times. You've seen it now. And I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something there. We've showed it. They show it constantly. They're doing a lot more than we are because we don't have that kind of equipment or that kind of time, to be honest. I mean, they're doing this 24/7, you know.
That's the dream.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
Well, guys, you know, I want to say too, it's like with the Skinwalker Ranch guys, Brand and other ones, you know, it's like we talk about, like, you know, Octopus with no friends, and we were chit chatting back here in the chat about some of this, about how we view these guys, trust, no trust, whatever. Anyway, the Skinwalker guys like Brandon, actually, I really have a little more belief in him and what he talks about more than I do a lot of the folks. Because like people that know him have gone out on a limb and talked about how good of a person he is, trustworthy, and, you know, him purchasing the ranch was purely out of just wanted to know what was going on. And we've all had the opportunity to meet some of the guys from Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, I was really impressed when we got to meet them at that one con.
Yeah.
And they were very, to me, they seemed very down to earth. Not that they were just trying to, I don't think they're getting rich off of this show, is what basically I'm trying to say. You know, I'm sure it helps for their cause, but I find them to be a little more authentic than I do a lot of people that's out there. The show's for ratings, and they got to do what they got to do on TV and follow the process so they have viewership. But I'm getting kind of impatient, like most people with the show. I want to see more, but
that's the idea of the show, to make you want more. You know, it's the same thing that I do when I create our stuff. I can make a clip and just show you the end results, but what's the fun in that? People want to be entertained. And there's a balance between entertainment and documentation, true documentation of actual data. Okay. If you make it too sciencey, you're losing the audience. I'll just tell you right now, they're bored. They're bored, and that's all. I can promise you that. I know. That's why you have to do it. Yeah, we've done it. We've done it. You can put a room to sleep like that. You really can. At a presentation, you can put a room to sleep, just quoting numbers and data. It's better if you can put it into a format that they can understand. And I think that's one of the, that's one of the things we do. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people kind of respect what we do, which is weird to say, but I've seen it multiple times now. And I'm okay with that. let's go with the next clip. And this is an interesting one where they talk about having some people out on the ranch.
Yep.
I think you walked into the homestead and the EEG shut down, and then you walked out and it was back online, and it was super strange.
Yeah.
And Chris Bledsoe as well, super experiencer who, you know, has had all sorts of fascinating experiences with the lady, but also UFOs showing up at his house in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He went to Skinwalker Ranch as well.
He did. We didn't end up airing that content. It was really kind of inconclusive.
Okay.
A nice guy.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed my interaction with Chris and his team, but we're pretty particular about what we reveal, what we present. And I think it's important to note that 95% of what we film and document doesn't end up making it on the series.
Right there, what he just said, 95% or so. That's true. There was actually an interview with a cameraman not that long ago who was talking about, or somebody who was there, had they were amazed that they had saw this UFO. It was right there. It was floating over the mesa. And he tells one of the camera guys, you know, hey, it's right there. You want to get a shot of it? And the guy's, nah, we got enough of that. Like, it's that common.
Yeah.
To the point to where it's just like, nah. But you have to set up these higher standards of stuff. And I don't think that people understand that. And we do that as well.
We do. We have, I have on my computer. Ron has far more because we export everything onto the work computer there. But just on mine, I have over 2 hours of thermal footage that you guys have never seen. And it's all just the same stuff that you guys have seen in this document.
We have hundreds of hours. We have hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Of a little white dots. I mean, that's all they are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've showed them to you when we got them, you know, but now when you go back and look at that, it's just like, well, that's the exact same thing that we caught over here. You know, it's just constant.
We may get some more in the fall.
Renee King. Wait, hang on here.
Yeah, she met you at Kecksburg and interested on sleep paralysis.
Oh, yes, I do remember. I was interested in at some point to get more views on it. Absolutely. Yeah, to reach out, honestly. Can we have there it is down there. wildandweirdwv@gmail.com. Drop me an email there. We'll talk back and forth about that, because you had some really good questions, and we're actually going to be doing a podcast here soon with a friend of mine, a professional in this, and we're going to be talking about some stuff, and I'm probably going to be bringing that up, not your case, but bringing that up because that is mentioned a lot in contact cases. It's an easy disclaimer, right, Joe? I mean, it's just sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people that run that. Octopus,
yeah.
Don't worry about that. I have already signed more than one NDA with travel, and it won't be happening again.
Well, one was one too many.
Yeah.
So anyway,
no, one wasn't bad. The second one was an absolute cluster. That yeah. Well, I'm not.
Look, here's the thing. I don't care. Everybody can do whatever they want with the channels. Entertainment's entertainment. Let them do what they want. I don't care. But I think you've got to have the ability to say this doesn't matter, and to be able to walk away. And you can't do that once you're in contract. See, that's the problem.
No.
So you've got to have that straight up front. And, according to Brandon, that's what he did. No funny business. This is how we're going to do this. This is how we're going to shoot this. This is, I don't want any funny business. We're going to record exactly what happens, and because there are paranormal shows who have done that in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all editing and clever stuff. And, that's one of the things about the show that I kind of like. Anyway.
Expedition Whippoorwill on the Travel Channel.
Hey, man.
Hey, no, I tell you what,
You just never
Expedition
know.
Whippoorwill, what became Expedition Whippoorwill, is what kept the second NDA
It is.
in DOA state.
Well, it's kind of what kept us off of, say, some of these programs that we're talking about right now.
It is
for
what
example.
kept us. It is what kept us off of some programs. That's true, because it made us some enemies.
Didn't really
Completely
make
off
us.
topic.
It didn't make us enemies as much as it just like
No,
well, we
it,
can't
it
do
made
it.
us enemies within the production realm, not with the
Yeah.
people, like the
No.
TV personalities. Yeah, no, we know all those guys.
No.
But like it from the production standpoint,
We
they
just can't
saw
do it.
us as radicals, and we weren't something that they could control.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a problem with radicals. You can't control radicals. And, if we see the truth, we're going to tell you the truth. And there's no agenda behind it. Here's a good example. You haven't seen it yet. It's not really a spoiler, but we go somewhere in one of the upcoming episodes of Strange Realities, and we're doing this investigation, and we have a pretty good idea, but we also get at the end and Merlin's like, I want to come back here and do this again, because you always challenge your own data.
Yeah.
You want to until you're 100%.
It's the only way that you can see if the theories stand up.
Yeah.
And Octopus, we will make this pitch to Giorgio this November.
Yeah,
you guys should get your own series called Post Ancient Aliens on history, because y'all are historically great.
Post Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, we'll pitch that to Giorgio this November, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
There you go. That's what's going to happen. All right, takes back presentation. I got 2 more of these from Brandon, and then we're going to get to these folks and put up. There's a lot of comments. I'm going to put some of these up and talk about them.
While you guys are transitioning to this, I just completely off topic, but with the whippoorwill thing, I love listening to whippoorwills at night. Love that.
Well, you won't if you ever see one of those things. All right, presentation mode.
I'll see them, but I love their sound. Oh.
They don't make sound.
I'm very fortunate to have all of these people that support me, that support this effort. It is a team effort. And even going back to those science advisors, Dr. Putoff, Dr. Green.
Just listen to some of the names. I just want you to listen to some of the names that he's talking about here. All right. And for the folks who don't understand how legit that is, that's pretty legit. All right. These guys were doing this stuff in the background, probably on their own time, honestly, some of them. And it's kind of like, they want to know so bad.
Dr. Segala, who joined us for a period of time. I mean, Dr. Segala was there years before.
Who is Dr. Segala?
Jim Segala. He's in season 1 of the docuseries, but he was there before there was any History Channel effort. I was brought in as a confidant, as a member of Dr. Putoff's team. And that's one thing that people forget is I was funding this investigation and keeping it completely secret and confidential for 4 years before being persuaded by the History Channel to allow the production team to come in and to make this public.
4 years.
4 years. 4 years. That is absolutely crazy if you think about it.
It shows patience.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's a lot of money. I mean, this man has spent a lot of money on this, probably more than anybody else, honestly. Let's see. And here's the last one. And why I wanted to play this one, I love this. Our original story for tonight was just the Lou and the Gerb fiasco, that whole thing. And I saw this because Joe had put it up in the feed, and I'm like, oh, this is great. It's 3 hours. Oh my gosh. So I actually went and listened to it, and I found those little key parts, right? Now, I'd already made the banner for our show at that point. So our banner was already made at that point before I watched this. And then he ends the show presentation. This is how Brandon Fugal ends that show.
two statements from one of my favorite shows of all time that are relevant, coming from the X-Files. Trust no one. The truth is out there. And both can be applied in this realm of inquiry and this investigation.
So that's literally, if you look at the thumbnail,
Yeah.
Look up at the top left corner.
Trust no one.
Ooh, subliminal.
I'm just saying, there's weird things that happen with this thing sometimes. And there's another weird one. You guys who've been watching this show, we've documented weird synchronicities all along the way. So there's multiple pieces of, these kind of weird things happening. I just thought that was crazy though, I'm listening to this and he gets to that end. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I got to put that in there. So I did. And I thought that was just the funniest thing because this was made this morning before I went to work. And then I didn't get the final edit on those clips until 5:30 this evening. How about that?
Coincidence or not?
I don't know. All right, let's get some of these folks up, Joseph. Some of the better, the better ones. Roll her back and let's start talking about it.
Pat made a good point a moment ago and said it wasn't too secret if history knew about it. Talking about how he was saying he was keeping it all confidential and secret.
Yeah.
History Channel persuaded him to let them film it.
Yeah.
Who there's on the History Channel payroll?
Right. Exactly. Now we know that they have ears. And they're everywhere.
Yeah. My phone number is not a public phone number. It's not listed on our website. It's not listed on our business cards. But my phone number has rang multiple times with TV people.
Yep.
So they have ears. They listen. They watch.
If they want to contact you, they will. I've had a similar experience. I had that happen while I was in Arkansas 2 years ago on vacation.
Yep,
I got called. Yeah, exactly. So that does happen. I mean, they do call. Hollywood does call. It's just the weird thing is we don't typically call them back.
I hit you guys up there. What? It's been a few weeks ago. I hit you guys up because I got privately messaged from some person wanting to do that documentary with. Yeah. They want to get me involved in it than you guys involved.
That's right. Yeah.
Wild and weird,
It happens, man. But again, this isn't about us. That's the point that we've been trying to drive home so much. This isn't about us. Yes, we make our own stuff, but we make our own stuff because we know what happened to us. It doesn't have to be edited. It's there. It's kind of like working with Small Town Monsters. We work with Seth because Seth doesn't mess with our stuff.
Yeah, we get to do whatever we want to do, send it to him, and he just puts it on his platform.
He's like, okay, guys, go do this. And we're like, all right. And we do. And he's always represented us the way that we are. He's never, changed it in any way, shape, or form, never spun some narrative. He's 100% legit, and that's why we work with him. Well, he's a pretty cool guy. He collects toys.
Our back walls look very similar.
It's just like that.
Enzo says places like Skinwalker or any other paranormal site don't have constantly nutty things happening all the time. That's why you get shows with more rockets than analysis. It is true.
That's true. That's 100% true.
Jesse kept pushing him to say that there are buried UFOs under the ranch. He kept avoiding that and saying high space tech material coming from the depths of millions of years ago.
Mm-hmm. He did, and he kept saying, "We shall see." He would keep saying that, "We shall see." We will see.
I think
which means he filmed it, and you can't say it.
Yeah, that's NDA talk for no comment.
It is.
Yeah. Because correct me if I'm wrong, they are already, like the season we're watching now for Skinwalker, I believe is at least 1 or 2 seasons. Like they're filming for the next season already. And I think it's like 2 seasons ahead of this one.
Yeah.
So whatever's known is probably No.
Yeah, dude. That's just how these things work. That's the whole point. But again, there's differences between documentaries, docuseries, and some of the crap that you're seeing today.
Octopus says Godot always has solid additions to the chat. Huge shout out. And then Godot does bring up the Fugal is a he's Mormon, and he owns a ridiculously large real estate investment firm, and that's how he came to procure the ranch. And then he was pushed, and there's been documentaries where he's mentioned this, that there were people within his network that convinced him to do the research.
Yeah,
it's because to a degree some of it affirms their religion.
Yeah, well, his original goal for the ranch, according to Tom, was to literally buy the ranch, clear it, and give it to the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And he was going to have his team come in there and debunk all this stuff because he didn't believe in that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't believe in that stuff. And then a few months later, he sees his first UFO and everything starts to change at that point. Which, it does change you when you see your first weird thing. It really does. And you do have to adjust your belief systems a little bit, don't you? But Brandon is still looking at it through those binoculars. And that's the problem with a lot of these guys. They're still looking at it through these belief binoculars. You got to stop. Yes. You don't need to.
And that's not saying that you abandon your belief structures. It means that you have to have the capacity to be able to examine information outside of preconceived notions and beliefs.
Yeah.
Is there more? Really look at it at face value. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with biased information.
Yes.
And demons.
Yes, exactly. And what you just said, it's not dismantling the belief. It's looking deeper into what the understructure of the belief structure itself is made of. That's, and to me, I think is one of the most, interesting parts of this whole thing. I mean, you all could be saying the exact same thing. You're just fighting over words.
Yep.
What else we got up there?
That's what I'm going through.
There's a
quoting the Godfather. There's Godot is going through the Godfather line by line over here.
Good Lord, there's a lot.
Then let's see. Simsalabim says, "I'm in. Can we just stop this BS and just all get along, crew?" That's where he says.
Right. I mean, you won't hear any arguments. Not from me, and probably not from any of the guys here. That's, I'm telling you, this whole division thing, it works. It's worked before. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're being played with this divisionary stuff. We got to stop. It doesn't matter what these people think. It doesn't matter what they saw. It's what you saw that matters. And I think that is where we are with this. We've got to be with that. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Carly Young says Hunt for Skinwalker with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell is better than the current series. Well, it's a completely different animal than the series. That was just a documentary that was designed to be a little 2-hour snippet and was very concise and to the point. And Jeremy is a phenomenal editor. And when you're in control of your own projects, you get to do your own thing the way you want it and make it look the way you want it. And when it's on TV, it is great value budget.
Well, other people have
get the cuts and put it together because we got to do this in a rapid, fast time frame.
Fast. It's got to be fast. We're working against the clock. This has got to be on, this schedule and that schedule. Yeah.
Enzo says a Boy Scout camp on Skinwalker Ranch. Yep. Yeah, that would have worked out well. You get a hitchhiker, you get a hitchhiker, and you get a hitchhiker.
Yeah, you got to get your hitchhiker merit badges. I mean, that's
congratulations, you're all hybrids now.
Yeah,
we knew guys like with Skinwalker too. It's I think you all agree with this. We're all conditioned nowadays for the instant gratification to a degree. I mean, a lot of it guys our age age range complain about the kids nowadays, teenagers, 20-some-year-olds, 30-some-year-olds, even maybe, but complain about them being, they're just waiting for gratification because they grew up on the internet. But I'm pushing 50, and I'm seeing, like, even myself sometimes, if there's something I want, it's like I want it now. I'm like, oh my God, these kids that want it now, it's no different. And when you're watching Skinwalker Ranch, it's like, we want the evidence now. I want to see it now. But again, like Ron said, it's a show. It has to go through a process, and it's frustrating as it is. And just gotta be patient.
You do, actually. I mean, and there are other elements obviously going on there that aren't just a show. We know this for a fact, that there are things that are going on there that, like Travis Taylor has said multiple times, look at him. I mean, he was working with the UAP task force there without them knowing it. And then, had to spill the beans. Well, the whole point is, he didn't have to spill the beans. Someone told him to do that. Someone gave him permission to do that. Why'd they do that?
I thought it was after he'd left the task force.
No, he was actually on the ranch, almost undercover, if you will.
Oh, no. Yeah, I knew that. But when he told them was after he was done.
Oh, yeah, he was done at that point. He was done at that point.
He was released and
he was done at that point.
Yeah.
And he was free to talk about certain parts of it at that point, from what I understand. So you got to look at it, man. I've always said this, those shows, they're just part of it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a coincidence? Come and think about this. Like you even said it. They filmed the episodes a year or so in advance.
Yeah.
Is it a coincidence that you see something on, Skinwalker Ranch, and then a couple weeks later we're talking about it because it was just released in some document? Think about that. Yeah. It's very well orchestrated. This whole thing is very well orchestrated.
All that being said, I hope I think about Dragon fairly regularly. I mean, hopefully he's in the new seasons they're currently filming, but obviously it's not to get into his personal situation, but like what he had told us, stuff is
right.
The family situation. I hope everything's going okay with what's going on there. I've been thinking about that a lot. It was pretty upsetting to hear what we had heard. So,
yeah. Well, anyway, as far as it goes with that whole thing, there's going to be people who like Skinwalker Ranch and don't. It doesn't matter. But Skinwalker Ranch is not the only place that those weird things happen.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's the key part right there.
And that was cleverly snuck into one of the comments by Representative Burleson when he said, we just don't want people showing up with fold out chairs or lawn chairs.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
Yards.
He did say that. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he did say that. I completely forgot all about that.
Godot says, I've read hundreds of YouTube comments on scenarios, but in my opinion, no one came close to the real reason behind the Gerb Lou fight. Yeah, and I don't think it's all insiders against one another, and I think it all has to do with control.
It does.
I'm voting for a cage match.
No, for real. It's really all about control. And that's what I said. It's about controlling this narrative. We've been talking about this for a while. There's something on the horizon that both sides want to try to control. They want to be ahead of. What is it? Don't know. Couldn't tell you. But it does seem to be that we are moving in a direction where we can't say it's not real anymore. But they don't want you to talk about, the other stuff, like he was saying. One of the things that Gerb was talking about was why this happened was because Grush comes out and forces their hands. Mm-hmm. Basically, they weren't going to give you everything. They were going to give you pieces of it so they can control what you got. Yeah, sure. There's aliens. Big deal. Big whoop. Right. But we didn't do anything to them. We didn't do anything. However, here's what we really got. We got a loose cannon who probably found out about those plans and said, oh yeah, I can do it better. And that's where we are.
And we know well enough that people are being injured, threatened, killed.
Well, they have been. They have been. It's not.
Yeah.
That's not that they are being. They have been. It's
Yeah.
the playbook. It's the playbook, man. This is
We
what
don't
has
know
happened.
what we don't see.
Bingo. And they don't want you to. We said this. I don't know how many years ago it's been now on here. We've said it. The reason that for the cover up is not because of aliens. It's not because of what it is. It's because of what has happened.
Control.
It's what has happened in the background to keep this secret all those years. That's the big cover up. That's the reason for it. And that's the reason for the lies. And that's why you can't trust anyone. For real. You cannot trust anyone.
I'm with Pat. Set the octagon back up. We need to decide who's in charge of disclosure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for right or wrong, we'll see, where this goes. Will we get another drop tomorrow? I don't know. It's very possible. It's possible, but here's what I'm going to tell you. If we do, tread carefully.
Look at about 8:05 a.m. Eastern time, and then we probably see by then if we're getting a drop or not.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen before 9. It always does. It always does.
If it's there, it's already staged and in queue, ready to go live.
Yep.
Somebody clocks in at 8 a.m, clears the queue, clears the cache, updates the website.
Yep.
And show me the money, show me the bodies.
Does seem
Right?
you're not going to see it.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, but we're not going to. We're not.
Oh, you're right, Ron. You're right.
Not with this system.
We're not. It's not going to happen. The only problem is if it does happen, there is a world where it happens. You don't want that world. You think you do, but you don't want that world. Because if it happens, all of this could be leading up to a catastrophic disclosure. I've said it before. You have too. We don't want that. It's not going to be good. You've already seen some of what's happening out there right now. You can't take it. Not you, but a lot of the majority of the public, the general water cooler public can't take it. They're out there right now calling everything demons. What does that tell you?
Well, Ron, you're also you got to include the crowd that will call it AI, will call it, oh, this is BS, this is being made up. I mean, this is just whatever. And I think half the population, honestly, you could drop it right in their laps, and they would still say, this is BS. I'm moving on. Hey, where's my next Facebook post?
No, it's not wrong.
Yep.
You're not wrong.
That is the curse of the current culture. It's just where we're at, and it's really rough.
Hey, you guys.
You guys.
A Goonies reference down here.
Yeah, I see that. That's a good one.
That's all.
And it's really disheartening. We knew that it was coming. We knew that we didn't know the parties that were going to be involved. We could kind of speculate just because the hierarchy.
Yeah.
But with all the infighting, with all the ridiculousness going on right now, my final thoughts towards all of this is that, one, like the thumbnail says, don't trust anyone. 2, don't worry about what the media heads are telling you. Don't worry about the people that are getting stuck in front of the camera in their nicely pressed white shirts and matching ties. Go outside.
Yeah.
Look. Start looking for yourself. That is the way forward.
Yep.
It's not the media personalities.
Nope.
It's not the podcast hosts. Us included.
It's not the magic flute.
It might be the magic flute.
It could be the magic flute. So let's go over here.
His hypnotic flute, where he
he
uses his subliminal instead of a subliminal message, you get a subliminal pain, puts thoughts in your head.
You're not supposed to tell people that, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, the people have a right to know. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay. I'll remember that.
They gotta know.
Mm-hmm.
The secret to success is the reverb.
It is.
Right.
It really is.
The verb.
Actually, reverb is actually the golden standard for all music. In my opinion,
absolutely. Yeah, you got to put reverb.
It has to be reverb. It's very specific.
Yep.
You can't hear the reverb. It just has to be there in a subtle kiss to the vocals, to the instruments, to just give that nice smoothing of the undertones that would otherwise be mute.
Unless
to cure the silence, so to speak.
Unless you want to go to space.
Space goes. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight on another episode of Wild and Weird Radio Live. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for everybody who has helped support this show throughout the ages. You guys are awesome. Remember, we are planning our next get-together. These donations do help fund those fully and keep them free for everybody, as well as gifts that will be in tow. We're also going to be releasing some more stuff going on with Strange Realities. We're doing some Strange Realities work this weekend. Remember, we are also speaking at the Mothman Festival. Here's the official announcement. We will be speaking Saturday at 4 p.m. For the Mothman Festival. We're going to be there with a bunch of great people, great lineup of folks, tremendous vendors, and just the people of Point Pleasant and from all around the world that descend on that tiny little town.
Oh,
it's
magical.
It's always amazing.
Yeah, it's magical. It really is. So
come check out Point Pleasant if you're able. We're also going to be guests at CryptidCon. You're going to be able to come meet us there. We'll be most likely in and around the researchers and speakers and all that stuff. They haven't put out a format yet. Then we will be at the Carter County Bigfoot Festival the week before the Mothman Festival. And of course, we will be at the Thunder in the Mountains powwow in Fayetteville, West Virginia. That is going to be, I think, October 19th or 9th, one of the two. I have to get the official poster for that one. But we appreciate everybody for hanging out. Y'all are awesome. Remember, don't get caught up in all the nonsense. Yeah, sure. You see all these other videos going on right now. Everybody's making their own comments and giving you their hot takes.
And you got AI generated garbage that's just flooding the internet at this point. Just stop.
Let the main hot take be, at least from us. Go do this yourself. Don't let these other people dictate it to you and tell you what disclosure is going to be. You are disclosure. Get out there, go do the thing.
Then come over here and talk about it. Realize that there's about, 100 others that are experiencing the exact same thing. That is disclosure. That is validation. That is disclosure. And that is why we're here. That's why we'll be here.
Forever.
Probably.
They're going to be having us do this tour in our 80s.
Probably. Or at least clones. Could be clones.
Right.
Robots.
So, guys,
robots.
We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you all have a good weekend. Thanks for joining us here on Wild Weird Radio Live. And remember, we will be here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, live. Wild Weird Radio. You guys get to come on. We set the stage for you. We let you guys talk. You interact. You direct. However it goes.
Yep. Go leave some comments in the end of this thing at the end of the show, please. It helps to push it out. You know, again, algorithms, robots. This is a thing we got to deal with. So just, help us with it. Thank you guys. Wonderful. We'll see you next week.
And remember, tomorrow, midnight, actually in your time zone, because they're staggering it, the X-Files Lego set drops. Stay wild and weird, everybody. Go. They undone the end it button. Dang it.
He has